Hey there everybody. The purpose of this video is to get you an introduction on how to turn the data that we've been messing with in the lab into a scatter plot and or a line chart. So we're going to get you started here in Excel. The first thing you have to do is get the data into Excel, and so one way to do it is just to type it. So you open up an Excel sheet like this one and just simply click in a cell and start typing. For example, up here I typed calendar years and then 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way down. I will show you a kind of cool little thing you can do in Excel. For example, right here, if you start typing a pattern like 1, 2, 3, you can then select by left clicking and holding those three, and then grab this little square right here, left click and hold and pull down, and that will continue that pattern all the way through until you let go. That's kind of a fun little thing. It works great for calendar years. It's a little more of a pain over here with the cat years and the dog years that you figured out in that question, because the first two don't have a pattern. It's 15, then 24. The next few go up by 4, and then the next few go up by 2 for cat or 2.5 for dog. So you could do that pattern drag for those as well. For example, I'll show you for the dog here. Okay, so for the dog, this guy here was 74.5. The next one is 2.5 more, so it's 77. The next one is 2.5 more, so it's 79.5. You can do the select that and drag down until the end, and that'll fill the rest of the chart out for you as well. So that's a neat little thing that Excel can do that I'm not sure everybody knows that Excel can do. Okay, so what I do now, once we have the data in here, is we can insert a scatter plot or a line. In this case, it's not so much a scatter plot as it is a line graph. So here's the way I do it, and it's not the simplest, but this is the least clunky of the ways. Excel is not good at simply creating this kind of chart, at least as far as I've known. I grab, left click and hold and select everything that you're going to want to graph. Left click, hold and select everything you're going to want to graph. Go up here to the Insert tab. Go over here to, you've got a whole bunch of different kinds of charts here. Okay, the one we're going to use is the Insert Line or Area chart. Now what I like to do is I like to grab the little arrow on the selection image there, and then you get to pick what kind you want. And the one that I always kind of default to is this one right here. What's kind of cool about this selection is, if you pull it out a little, you can't really see it. If you hover over the choices, you can see below what it's going to look like. I tend to go with the simplest. Now this one here is literally the simplest. The only reason I'm going to go with this one is it puts the markers at the data points. So we'll talk about that in a second. So I'm going to hit enter, or excuse me, not enter, left click, apologies. I'm going to grab the corners of this and make it larger, just so you can see it better on the screen. Okay, now here's where it gets clunky, and this is the part that kind of drives me nuts. It's clunky because it didn't actually graph everything correctly. If you look down here, it says calendar years, cat years, dog years. Well, that's not actually what you want. You don't want to graph the calendar years. You want the calendar years to be down here along the bottom. That's where you want them to be. So what you have to do is look at these three graphs and realize that Excel confusingly called all of these three things graphs, whereas only these two should be graphs, cat years and dog years. So the easiest way to deal with this, as I found, is just left click on the one you don't want. Notice it's showing you over here which one it is, and just press the delete button, and that takes it away. And now you're left with exactly what you want, which is cat years and dog years. Cat years and dog years. Now what we're going to do a little bit right here is we're going to clean this up by adjusting some fonts. So the first thing, I'm going to click on this cat years, dog years down here. The color coding is nice. It lets me know which one of these things I'm looking at. The gray is dog years. The orange is cat years. I'm going to go up to home, which I'm already in here, and I'm going to use the up font size key, and that's going to increase the size of the font on that legend until it's actually readable, so I can actually see it. Okay, that's nice. You can do the exact same thing with the axes. See how small these axes are? I think they're too small. I'm going to make them a little bit larger. Maybe 11-point font for each of them. While we're talking about the axes, what do the axes represent? What is this down here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this up here? 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. What are those things? I don't know what those are. So your reader won't either. So your reader needs to know that these are the human years down here and the cat years over here. So we're going to go up to this little plus sign, which means to add chart elements. And I'm going to left click on it once. And then I'm going to decide what I want to add. It already has axes, a chart title, grid lines, and a legend. We're going to add the axis titles as well. So I'm going to insert, I'm going to put a little left click on that little box to give it a checkbox, and notice that down here it says axis title and axis title. We're going to change those. So we're going to click on the axis title down here, and we're going to type human years. And when we click outside, it changes it to human years. I'm also going to raise the font size a little bit bigger, maybe make it bold if you want. Same thing over here. These are cat or dog years. Now, I'm going to put pet years because this graph actually shows both cats and dogs simultaneously. And then if you want, you can make the fonts larger there, make it bolded if you want, you know. If you want, you can grab this legend and move it somewhere else, maybe move it up here. That's kind of a nice thing. You can move it up here to the top, move things around. The chart title is extraordinarily non-descriptive. It just says chart title. So if you click on that, you can then start typing. I'm going to put pet years versus human years. There you go. Now you've got a nice title of your chart. You can make the font bigger. You can bold it. You can underline it. You can do all kinds of stuff. And this is pretty much ready to go at this point. You can see the pattern that we needed to see. We've got the increase of the cat and dog years. You can see that quick increase here from year 1 to year 2, and then you can see the constant increase from year 2 through year, I think it's 14, and then the change in slope between years 14 all the way up to looks like year 30 on a human side. So there's your basic line graph in Excel. There's lots of other things you can do. I highly encourage, if you want to mess around with these, to click on individual things you want to mess with, or right click on individual things you want to mess with, and just see what Excel is capable of. And always ask me if you get stuck. I'd be happy to help you with stuff. Okay, so there's a beginning. There's a way to make an Excel line chart. Hope it helped, and we'll see you on the next video.